Hello, hello, hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Susan Rose, the CEO of Gutsy Happiness. Susan, it's awesome to have you on the show today.
Happy to be here. I'm excited.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, Susan Rose is a serial entrepreneur, having founded multiple businesses over the last 15 years. She is currently the CEO of Gutsy Happiness, where she guides women on the empowering journey of discovering their life purpose and creating a plan to fulfill it. For many women, that means launching their own business, a journey she loves guiding them through. So, Susan, thank you so much again for being on the show. Are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
I am. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So awesome. Well, for the first question that I have is just if you can kind of introduce yourself to us, kind of expound a little bit more upon your bio and tell us exactly what your CEO story is.
Okay. Well, my CEO story, like I said, I am a serial entrepreneur. So I have been a CEO, if you will, for about 15 years and have launched at this point, I think 6 businesses. Because as you know, most CEOs don't just do it once.
Very true.
There's many rebirths and reiterations. So I started back a while ago. I had a graphic design agency. That was my first business. Together with my husband, we own one of the largest independently owned massage centers in Northern Virginia. So we built that from ground up. And then, recently, the last couple of years, I realized that the marketing communications work I had been doing wasn't really doing it for me anymore. And I wanted to look at what my next iteration was. So I did the work that I now teach people to do, and all roads led to coaching and helping other women like me find their bliss. I'm really passionate about this. I think as a woman in middle age, I think it's really important to figure out what's really making you happy. And it turns out for most women, that is ditching corporate life and doing their own thing. So I'm very happy to help people figure that one out.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes perfect sense to kind of have the opportunity to do that introspection and figure out like what makes you happy, what's your bliss, what is your ultimate passion and reason you're here on this earth. So I guess could you expound, a little bit more upon like the products, the actual services that you provide in your coaching business?
Mm-hmm. Well, among teaching people how to do work with a dog in their lap, which is my primary thing, I have a series of coaching programs. So the women that come to me, they're at some sort of a transition. They're stuck in their lives. They know that where they are right now is making them happy, but they don't know what the next thing looks like. So I've developed 3 coaching programs depending on what the need is, which I find out when I talk to people. My core program is a Business Foundations starter course called the Gutsy Femmipreneur, and it's for those women who know that the next step is starting a business, but they actually don't have any clue what that looks like. And I think that the entrepreneurs here, a lot of people can kind of identify with that. You just know you have the bug, that's what's going to make you happy. And then what? What is it? What do you do? So I have a program that guides them through figuring out what is going to really resonate with their purpose and passion in life. And then also what's the right business based on where they are. Because, I'm working with women who are in middle age, and we have some realities in life that younger people don't have, nearing retirement, having like maybe wanting to actually retire at some point, or at least, go live at the beach a few months out of the year. So I help them figure out what is the right business for what their long-term goals are, not only in being an entrepreneur, but also in life, because I think there's a huge balance. And I think what's the point, at least at this stage, if you don't get it all? So I help them get it all.
No, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, it's very, very important, especially, at that time in life, to be able to find what is that good fit, not just something that you think that you want to do, but actually something that you'll enjoy doing, especially as you're, later on in life and probably don't want to deal with some of the things you might have dealt with when you were younger. So it's great that you do that. So it brings me to my next question. Is like, what are some of the things that you feel that makes your business and Gutsy Happiness unique?
Well, I was thinking a lot about that, because at the end of the day, helping people launch a business is not a particularly unique model. I think there's 2 things for my particular demographic, which is women who are in middle age, that make me different than a lot of other people. The first one is that I've had multiple businesses. So, depending on what it looks like, I'm not going to come in and say, well, you have to have a massage center because that's what I know how to do. I know how to do a lot of things. I've had a personal, personal services. I've had professional services. I've had employees. I've not had employees. So I can really help walk people through the realities. I know what it means to own each of those kinds of businesses from firsthand experience, not just from reading books about it or thinking about it. The second thing that is really, I think, helpful is that I went through this rebirth again when I was 50. I've been an entrepreneur for many years, for a long time, but I came to the same crossroad that my clients are at. So, I walked that exact path that they're walking. And I think that that's really important for this stage and for this thing. It's like I was there. I was looking at, we want to retire somewhere. So what does that mean if I go and launch this new business? Does that mean we get to go do it? So I think the fact that I walk those shoes makes me very different than a lot of the other business consultants that people might come across.
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact that, you being a serial entrepreneur and having the opportunity to launch multiple businesses, you have a unique lens than often a lot of other consultants might have, where they have only one business that they've run or one industry that they work in. And they say,
right,
well, this is all that I know. So I think that you should do this.
Yeah.
But you actually have different lenses that you can kind of look and say, okay, that doesn't look quite right, but this one looks perfect because I'm listening to what you said. And I also have some type of experience in terms of doing that.
Right. And I'm really practical. It's, we're going to sit down and we're going to figure out all the big pieces of life to come up with a thing that makes sense. Because like you said, not all things make sense to all people. And there's a lot of factors that go into it. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun to figure that out.
Awesome. And one of the awesome things that I get to do is ask, different CEOs and entrepreneurs and business owners exactly like what a good CEO hack is. And this might be like a book or an app or something that you've used in your businesses or maybe on a daily basis that you feel like this makes you more successful and gives you an edge above maybe the competition.
Yeah, in terms of hacks, it really depends, I think, on your business and what you're doing, what is most useful. So I want to recommend a book that was really transformational for me. And that was The Big Leap by Hendricks. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but that was recommended. One of my coaches recommended it to me. And it digs into a lot of the kind of the glass ceiling you put on yourself and your own limits and what you believe and kind of when you get to that end point. And I never realized I did that. I think a lot of people don't realize they do that. And it was really eye-opening for me. So, I read that as I was launching this business, and it gave me a really huge perspective about the unintentional ways in which I limit myself and things I can be doing because, I have a big message. I want to impact a lot of people's lives. And, I have to do some shifting within myself. And so I thought that was just a book that is so well worth reading for anybody, really. It's great.
Yeah, and I actually have not heard about that book, so I'm definitely going to add that to my list for sure.
It's a quick read. Yeah.
You don't know. Sometimes you need people on the outside to kind of give you that perspective or even books and opportunities to learn that, hey, there is a ceiling that you put there and you need to take that off if you want to reach the goal that you want to reach.
Yeah, we all have our own limits that come from, different factors in life. And, I'm a coach, I know that, but you still, hearing somebody else say it and say it in a way that's maybe different than you've heard it before is really useful.
Yeah, that makes
sense. Go read that book.
I will. I have it on my list for sure. And now the next thing that I wanted to ask you was a CEO Nugget, which might be like a word of wisdom or a piece of advice that you can give for other entrepreneurs and business owners.
Mm-hmm. I would say don't give up. You hear the statistics about how many small businesses fail, and I think it's because it gets hard. I mean, this is a roller coaster ride, and it is not for the faint of heart, really. It's very exciting, and there are huge rewards, but there are also huge dips and times where a lot of outside factors are going to be telling you not to do it anymore. And the real challenge of the real entrepreneur is that they push through it and they keep going and they adapt with the change. So my nugget is know that you're in this for the long haul because day to day, it's going to go up and down and up and down.
Yeah, whether you wanted to or not, but persistence is the key.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 So, like I mentioned, one of the awesome things about this podcast is we get the opportunity to speak with different types of quote unquote CEOs. So these are people that might be running their business from their home and
Right.
they might have hundreds of employees. So you having been a serial and having in the fact that you are a serial entrepreneur, I wanted to ask you, what does being an entrepreneur or what does being a CEO specifically mean to you?
For me, it's all about the freedom. I initially became self-employed because I don't fit in the corporate world at all. Just as an employee, it was too stifling to me. It was hard. It just doesn't fit with my personality. So I am what's called a lifestyle entrepreneur. I do this because I like the life that comes along with it. I like working from home. I like being able to go on vacation whenever I feel like it. And sometimes I take my laptop with me and I work, but I have that total freedom, and that is just huge for me. And that's why I feel so strongly about sharing that with other people, because I actually think that that's probably true for others as well, and they just don't know it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel like you're speaking my exact same language, so I could definitely echo that as well too.
Yeah.
So awesome, awesome, awesome. So Susan, I truly appreciate you for taking some time out of your schedule. I just wanted to give you the floor or the mic one more time just to see if there was anything additional you wanted to kind of let us know, whether that be words of wisdom or just anything additional about your business that you didn't already kind of touch on.
Well, just additional words of wisdom is that do it now. I talk to a lot of people who are thinking about someday when this circumstance or that circumstance or this holiday passes or whatever, then I'll look into following my dream and doing what I want to do. And the reality is today is the day to do it. If you have, for anybody who's listening to this who is not already an entrepreneur, who's maybe just started and is facing some of those challenges that might make you want to quit, reach out, ask for help, but get started. Do something right now, because the dream is going to stay. If you've got the bug, you've got the bug. And tomorrow is not the right day to do it. The right day to do it is right now, right today. So I challenge anybody to go take that next step. Call a coach, schedule a call with me if you want, go to the SCORE office, do something, but just take a step and make the dream happen.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So anybody in the I Am CEO community, if you have that bug, make sure that you definitely take advantage of that today, not tomorrow, but definitely today. Mm-hmm. So Susan, if anybody's listening to this, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you or get a hold of you?
If they want to schedule a call, I would go to gutsyhappiness.com/biz, B-I-Z, and they can schedule a call with me and we can talk through whatever questions they have.
Okay. Perfect. And we'll have that link in the show notes just in case anybody might be listening and wants to follow back up. But Susan, thank you so much for all the awesome stuff that you're doing. And I truly appreciate you for taking some time out of your schedule.
It's my pleasure. I always enjoy talking to you. You know that. So
awesome. You too.